Hello, my name is Zaner and welcome to your 265 RLS. Starting right up front, we're going to have a light, just in case we do need to hook up at night. You have your retract and extend for your power tongue jack here. If it ever electrically goes out, you can manually override it if you take this little tab off, insert a tool, and you can go ahead and crank it up or down. For your propane tanks, right behind there you're going to have a reader. So the red means that there's no propane going through it. Since there's no propane in here, if I twist it, nothing's going to happen. But when there is propane in here and it goes through the lines, that little red will turn green. And you're able to choose your supply to which propane tank you want to take it from by just flipping this little switch here. So this way, it's pointing to this tank. It's going to take the flow from this tank. Other way around, same thing for this supply, pointing that way. Once one is green, it's going to start flowing. And then let's say this runs out. It's going to turn red again. All you got to do, flip it, open that one up. Storage in there. Back here, we're going to start with the water heater. Just a switch right there. And then your pressure release, so when you do go to empty it out, you just pull that valve there. Outside shower, you have a hot and cold side of the faucet along with your shower head and hose connected all inside of this little package here. Moving down, you're going to have your city water connection. So when you get to a campground, this is what you're going to want to plug into. So throw that hose, or the campground hose, right inside of here, and then that will shoot water through your lines. Just to the left of it, this is going to be your furnace exhaust. So when your furnace is on, this is going to get very hot because all the excess heat is going to be kicking out of there. So just be careful. If there's any little kids or someone who may not know, just tell them, do not touch this. Moving down, this is going to be your sewer system. So you're gonna have your gray tank on your left, your black tank on your right. Let's see. There we go, now you can see it. So your gray tank is going to be your shower and sink, and then the black tank is going to be for a toilet or something along the lines of that. So what I do recommend is doing the black tank first because that's going to have solids in it. So you open that up, let it flow out. Once it's done draining, leave that open. Put a pressurized hose into this little black tank flush. And then what this does is activate a small sprinkler inside of the black tank to help kind of flush anything that may have gotten stuck out. So for example, toilet paper or something else will then all get pushed out. So when you're done with that, go ahead and take the hose off. Close it up, close your black tank, and then open your gray tank. I recommend doing the gray tank last just because that's the cleanest water out of the two. It kind of gives it one last little rinse and flush before you go ahead and put your hands back on the sewer hose. Cable and TV satellite input back here. Your camp power or shore power here. And then backup camera prep, so if you do decide to purchase one, it'll go right inside there. Your spare tire is going to be the exact same as the tires on it now. It's not going to be like a car donut where it's going to be a different size. It's going to be the exact same wheel and tire on there. For your stairs, make sure your door is completely open. And then go ahead, just grab, lift it up. The reason why you want to make sure your door is completely open so this doesn't fit. Goes in. Pull this to make sure this little metal piece, so you can kind of see it moving, is behind the frame so it doesn't move. If you ever need to adjust the legs to make sure it's flush, which I'll go over in just a minute, all you do is just go ahead, pull out, and then move this up or down, and then push back in. Well, you just pull, grab, pull this again, lay it down. You're going to want to make sure this is completely flush with the metal piece there, because if it's not and it's up and you go to slam your door, shut your door, and it's raised up, it'll damage the complete bottom side of your door. So right underneath the door is going to be the fresh tank low point drain. So when you do get ready to, we'll go over the fresh tank in just a moment, which is right there. But if you have excess water after your vacation, you just go ahead and empty that out right there. So once again, I'll go over that in just a second. this is going to be a bracket location for an outside TV. You can use it in your bedroom and outside here. So you just take this bracket, set it on, and then you have a cable satellite output there and a 110 outlet there. Otherwise, moving to the fresh tank. So for the fresh tank is when you're going rustic camping or out in the middle of nowhere. So you go ahead, it's kind of hard to do. There we go. It's just a gravity fill. You can go ahead and fill this up before, for example, like a national park. Sometimes they'll have little hoses or whatever. Before you go in, just fill it up there. Make sure this is nice and full. And then when you're out there, you need water, you turn on your water pump, and then that pump will grab water from this tank and push it through your system. So like I mentioned before, let's say you're done with camping, you still have extra water left over. Go ahead, open this up there, and then that will drain the rest of the water completely out. The green caps on your wheels indicate that your tires are going to be filled with nitrogen rather than regular air. It doesn't inflate or deflate with temperature change. You can still fill it with regular air and it'll still be fine. Moving over to the actual low point drains of the hot and cold side of your lines. You just open those up and that will drain the 2 lowest points of your camper, and that'll drain the rest of the water out. On top of your awning, you have a little, let's see if you can see it there, black tab. If this ever electrically goes out, you can manually override it by popping that tab off, inserting a tool. I believe it's a 10mm socket. You can go ahead and reel that back in or out. And then storage here, along with side view camera prep as well. So if you get the backup camera, you'll get a side view along with it. Moving to the inside, starting up top here, we're going to have the reader section. So if you hold down, you can see it reads all the different levels. So for battery, completely full, fresh tank, black tank, and gray tank, along with the water pump section. So like I said, if you have your fresh tank full, you can go ahead, flip this on, and use that fresh tank water. For your slide, it's not fully in. I'm just gonna move it back out just so you can hear what it sounds like when it fully extends. Once you hear that little gear grinding noise, you know you're fully extended. That's just with that. In, out, lights, inside lights, awning lights, and then the awning in or out. Let's see how far I can actually get this before having to stop with the other camper there. And get over top of it. Alright, I can fully extend it. So once you see that little black bar and the white kind of tab fall underneath, that's so you know you're fully extended and to not keep going, because if you do keep going, the awning is going to reel in the opposite way and actually break. Moving back to the floor, down here we are going to have your carbon monoxide detector. So as a safety feature, this little green light is on and is always going to stay on. So this will eventually kill your battery if you're going to leave it. So what I do recommend doing is if you're gonna leave your camper for about 3 to 4 days or longer, I recommend taking the negative end off of your battery, so then this will finally die. Also, like I said, or longer, if you do decide to do it for longer, like put it away for winter or whatever, I do recommend taking the battery off and putting it somewhere warm, so in your basement or a heated garage, just to keep it from completely dying out. Moving to your keys. 2 keys, main doors, all it is. Got your microwave, fan, and light here. And then the light on. And then for this to press and turn, when you're starting to release gas, it'll be red. Otherwise, you just spark. So, you just hold this up. Press, turn, and then ignite to the right. Obviously, it's not going to light, because like I said earlier, there's no propane going through it. But you always want to turn to the right. There's even arrows telling you to, because if you turn to the left, it will snap off. So all 3, press, turn, red equals gas. And for the oven, same thing. Press, turn to the pilot symbol, so the little flame symbol. And then keep sparking until you see a tiny little flame ignite in the back of your oven right there. So for example, why I said keep going is because this isn't going to light right away because there's no gas purged through the system yet. So you just press, turn. It could take 2 tries, could take 40 tries, but just know it's not broken. Just give it time. It will light. Sometimes what people will do is light all 3 of these to have gas going through the system and slowly start to purge into that oven area, and then it'll become easier to light. Little dial on the top right that you can control your temperature to, and then big freezer. And then for your thermostat here, you just press, keep tapping. You have fan, cool or AC, and then furnace. It's kind of hard to see, but then once you click either of those, you can go up or down with the temperature with the arrows on the side. For the radio, you just click the top button to turn on. You control the volume by twisting it either way. For the equalizer, you press, and you can keep pressing between all the different modes. You have Bluetooth, you can click that on, connect to your phone, AM, FM, Zone 1 and Zone 2 speakers, Zone 1 inside, Zone 2 outside speakers, which you can both turn off or completely mute just by tapping the top right. There's channel switch either way. Once again, volume, and then you just hold, and it turns off. For your TV, when you put a TV here, you're gonna have your 110 outlets. There, it's kind of hard to see. Then you're gonna have this input here to switch between cable, satellite, stuff like that. You just click this little button on the right there. You can see the little light kind of turn on and off. That's how you switch between them. This is in travel position right now, or also aka bed position. We recommend this for travel just because if it's up and the poles are down and it starts to wobble, it'll eventually warp the poles. So moving into the bathroom here, this is going to be your toilet, obviously, foot flush only. You are going to need toilet solution along with RV grade toilet paper. The solution will help break down solids and smells, and then the toilet paper will help kind of break down easier so it won't clog your lines. Moving up, we're going to go to your fan. To move this, you just pull down. You can see how it kind of does that. And then move it, and then when you go to put it in some place, make sure the teeth align and go right in, and then turn on just the button there. Inside here, television bracket location right here, along with 110 outlets and the input there. For these lights, they all have a little button in the middle that you can press and turn on and off. If you grab underneath the bed and lift up, you can access your storage there. And then right here, water heater, on, off, Celsius, Fahrenheit. Then you just go on and down, or up and down, not on and off. Otherwise, that is that. Pretty simple, pretty brief, nothing really to it. And coming up to your AC vents, it's all ducted, so when this is open like this, it's just going to dump straight out here. But if you want it pushed throughout the little places in your ceiling, you just go ahead, shut that, and then the air would then start to flow. You can open these up, turn them directional, like that. Can I just open these? There we go. And you can turn them either way. Same with here, and so forth. Otherwise, that has been your orientation. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to email back or just write them down and bring it in on pickup day, and we can help answer anything you have. Enjoy.